lunchtime, and I wanted to talk today to you traders especially. This is a new week, and this is the last week of August. And I wanted to go live every day this week. I'm here on both YouTube and Facebook. I wanted to go live this week and give you some encouragement. A lot of times we wait till the beginning of something to make a new habit, or say, oh, well, I'll start trading that thing next week, or I'll start doing journaling next month, or I'll next month, next time, whatever. Today's Monday. Today is the beginning of the last trading day of the month of August. And so there is still time left today, left this week, left this month, for you to get better, for you to decide, I'm not going to wait for next week. I'm going to do whatever it takes today. I was reading in Psalms. It says, today is the day the Lord has made. We shall rejoice and be glad in it. And by the way, to rejoice means to have joy again. So rejoice is yes, we shall. And when he says rejoice in the Lord always, again I say rejoice, he's saying have joy again and again and again. But the whole point of it is today is the day. And there's so many verses about that. But we often get discouraged. I was talking to somebody this morning about feeling stuck and feeling like, what do you do when you feel like nothing's going right? I say this a lot, but Psalms 23 is referenced, and this Psalms 23 is so applicable to traders, and I love using it for that reason. David says that, even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. Why? For you are with me. I want you to remember a couple of things from that. First and foremost, David's going through something, right? But he's not going through the valley of death, is he? No. He's going through the valley of the shadow of death. You say, what does that have to do with trading? Well, we have all been through the valley of the shadow of death in our trading. Even if we have blown an account, it's still the valley of death. It's just the valley of the shadow of death. What is the difference there? Well, the valley of death is, pretty grim, and at the end of it, you die. And so, which means you're done trading. The shadow of death just means there's something looming over you. Maybe it is discouragement. Maybe it's like, you know what? I've been trading for an entire month now, and I haven't gotten anywhere. And I'm just so discouraged, I'm ready to quit. Think about what David said, all right? He's going through the valley. What is a valley? All right? It's a low spot between two mountains. And so how do you get out of that? So let's say you turn around and say, you know what? I'm discouraged. I've been trading all month long, and I'm down. Or I'm sideways, or I'm not where I want to be. Or for whatever reason, I'm not happy with where I am in the month of August, trading-wise. Trucker says it's a test. Hang on. It is a test. Oftentimes, they are absolutely tests. But when you find yourself in that valley, much like you find yourself in a pit, the pit of discouragement, we talk about it in the book, there's only a couple of ways out of this. We can climb the vertical cliffs, or the seemingly vertical cliffs to the left and the right of us. The Bible talks over and over again about don't turn to the left or to the right, but keep forward. Paul talks about pressing on towards the mark, not turning to the left or the right. So you're in a valley, you're between two mountains, two insurmountable peaks on either side of us. Yeah, sure, you can climb up. Well, that's the hard way out, all right? You can go back, and how many of us want to do that? How many of us are saying, you know what, I've been trading Tesla, or I've been trading Forex, or I've been trading futures for 6 months now, and I'm not seeing any results. I'm so discouraged. Do you really want to go back to the way things were before you started trading? Another option when you're walking through the valley of the shadow of death is to just stop, just to sit down and stop moving. Well, okay, that's also an option. It doesn't get you anything. It might feel good in the moment, and it might be, I don't want to say wise, it might be a viable short-term option. If you are so frustrated that every single day it's like, I don't know what I'm doing. I just don't know what I'm doing. By the way, if you don't know what you're doing, stay tuned to the end of this. I've got something for you. I'm so frustrated. I'm just ready to quit. I can't take it anymore. Then fine. That is absolutely a moment where you can say, I'm going to take a break for a day or even possibly a week. Again, but as we analyze, how do we get out of this day of frustration, pit of frustration? The only way out is through. And now David says, hey, I'm not going to worry about what's going on. All right, this is just a shadow of death, not an actual valley of death. I'm not going to worry because you're with me. And God's presence in our lives as we walk through this valley, as we wallow in the pit, is what gets us through it. But hear me now. We still have to get to the end of the valley, right? We don't get magically beamed up from the middle of the valley to the end of it. We still have to get to the other side of it. The only way out is through. And yes, I recognize that getting up every morning and not feeling like you know what you're doing and losing sucks. And you think, well, that's great for you. You know, you're being successful with this. Hey, does anyone remember me talking about May? The month of May was my worst trading month in 3 years. I lost 6% in May. I had graduated to the investor class of my prop firm. I had people giving me their money. And the first month they give me their money is a 6% loss month. Talk about making a good first impression. I had an 8-trade losing streak. But what do you do when you're in the middle of a losing streak? Do you quit? Do you change strategies? Or do you just keep going? You look behind you and say, I see where I've come from. You look ahead of you and say, okay, I can see the exit. And there's nothing to do but just walk, put one foot in front of the other and keep going. This daily encouragement here has taken a bit of a negative tone. I do apologize for that. This is where, obviously, Psalms 23 comes in. God's presence is what helps us get through that. Having other people around you is also what helps get through this. I highly recommend finding a community. If anybody has ever bought the book, you've got access, or you should have access to our Discord channel where you can get in and talk to people all throughout the day. Look, you don't have to talk to people who are the traders. Let's say that you are the only person that you know who knows what trading is. Let's say that every single person that at your church, at your golf club, at your underwater basket weaving class thinks that trading is something that either NFL teams do or Pokemon cards do. It doesn't have to be trading related. Find other people who are trying to better themselves and get around them. The discipline that you need to be successful at trading and the encouragement that you need day in and day out as you seek to do this new thing. They're the same whether it comes to weight loss or starting a business or learning a new language or trading. So yes, ideally, if you are a Christian trader, you're going to find your most encouragement around other Christian traders. We've got opportunities. There are lots of opportunities out there. But if you can't find other people like that, go find any group of people who are just trying to make it through life day in and day out and say, look, guys, you don't have to say, I had a stop loss at 1.03 on the pound US and it got hit. And they're going to just say, I was trying my thing and I was so discouraged. I'm not having any success at my thing that I'm trying. I know this. I know I'm supposed to do this thing and I just can't seem to get out of my own way. And I just want to win. I'm so sick of losing. It doesn't matter who you're talking to. Everyone can connect to that. So, yes, connecting with other traders will help. Connecting with anybody will help. God tells us in Genesis, it's not good for man to be alone. And yeah, we all think he's talking about man and woman, and he was. But he didn't use the Hebrew word Is and Esau for male and female. He used the word Adam for human. It's not good for humans to be alone either. As we look at coming to the end of August, another topic I wanted to talk about today was what then shall we say about August? What then shall we say about where we are as traders today? Are we better today? Are you better today, the 25th of August, than you were on the 1st of August? If so, how did you get better? If not, why not? This idea has been hitting me a lot lately from different directions. My dad used to say that God speaks with a still small voice. But if you ignore the still small voice, he's got a 2x4, and he's reared back, ready to hit you with it to get his point across. About a month ago, the 2x4 God was reaching out to me with was, hey, why don't you soften the whole fathers bit and allow some women to feel welcome? Well, in this last week, it's been the idea of complacency is not a biblical concept. Nowhere in the Bible does it say, get to the mountaintop, plant your flag, pitch your tent, and stay there and stop moving. In fact, Paul talks about in Philippians that he does not. I mean, this in Philippians, this is the same Paul who planted churches and spread the gospel to new countries. He says, I don't consider myself to have been successful. And this one thing I do, I press on towards the mark, towards the high calling. Every day he got up and sought to better himself. And I think that if the Apostle Paul can do that, then with spreading the gospel, then who am I to do any less in this specific area that we call trading? So what are you doing day in and day out to be a better trader today than you were yesterday? Maybe that's something as simple as finishing your day by reviewing your day. Maybe it's something as simple as reading a book that you haven't read before on trading. Maybe it's watching a video. Maybe it's sharing with a group and learning from other people. Oh my goodness, they're all the same thing, right? Sharing in a group, watching a video, reading a book. Those are all part of our command to gather together and not be alone. That is one of the easiest ways to improve yourself as a trader. Yes, you can analyze your own trades every single day. Sure. Better option will be to analyze someone else's trade and have them analyze yours. But whatever it is you want to do, every day when you set out to trade, as you say, all right, I'm going to, and by the way, these things I'm about to tell you, this is what a trade plan is. Our brand new class starting next week teaches you how to build a trade plan, which is different than a trading strategy. It includes your trading strategy, but it's so much different. Your trading plan is your career path. Your trading strategy is your, 12 o'clock button pushing checklist. There's a big difference. Trade plan can be something like, every day before I trade, I'm going to pray. Every day before I trade, I'm going to read these 4 verses or these 2 inspirational quotes. And then at the end of every day, I'm going to share my experience with someone. I have become so much a better trader through teaching this, just because when you share, you understand your own thoughts so much better. Even if it's just Chat GPT, you think, what now? Yeah, absolutely. You can easily, and we're going to have this for our students, you can easily have an automated end of day trading coach that says, hey, Mr. Chat GPT, I'm going to explain to you what I did today. I've already preloaded you with what I'm supposed to be doing today. So you give me a grade on how today went. Even you will find that just talking about it out loud, and I do highly recommend doing it out loud. Just talking about it to somebody else, even to a conglomeration of ones and zeros, is going to make you a better trader. So, as we wrap this up, I understand that the end of the month can be a discouraging time for traders. And I understand that a lot of traders say, well, I'll do better next month. Next month starts next Monday. I'll wait until then. No. Now is the time. Today is the day. This is the hour. Decide right now that you're going to be a better trader on your very next trade, on the very next hour of trading than you were last hour. And then go out and share that with somebody. If you need any help with any of this, I've got a link down in the description on YouTube. I hope I have it on Facebook. You can reach out to us. We can help you with whatever you need. But don't let today go by without finding some way of being better at what we're doing, because this calling of trading, this opportunity to improve our families' lives through trading is too good to waste. So that's it for today, guys. I'll be back tomorrow with another lunchtime walk around. Until then, I'll see you tomorrow. How does one stop live over here on YouTube? I don't know.